Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I wanted to do something a little bit different than what you're used to seeing with me uploading videos of my go-karting sessions over here at the 2F2F Karting Club in Lahore. I wanted to take the time to actually introduce myself. I just realized, actually, in a funny manner, that I actually never went around to introducing myself to you all, telling you a little bit about myself, and maybe also using the opportunity to talk a little bit about my experiences at the track, and then a couple of things that I would want to say are general tips for most people who are showing up for the first time or people who want to be repeat customers there, and what would benefit them and what have you. And maybe also a little bit of my input on the kinds of things you should not be doing there. So, anyhow, let me introduce myself again. My name is Harris Malik, as is the name of the channel. And I was born in Lahore, Pakistan, but I never lived here. I lived basically outside of Pakistan for most all of my life. And I'm sure you can figure out from the way I am speaking, I guess, as to where I live now. So I have been in the world of racing off and on since the time I was a kid into my adult life. And I gotta say, I started off with go karting and went into automotive racing. Again, I was never a pro, but I enjoyed going to different tracks, road courses mostly, and trying to get the best lap time out there. With whatever card that I had. It's been a passion for me. I really never got involved in street racing or anything crazy like that. Yeah, I may have had races with people, here and there, but not to the point where you see these videos of folks who want to race for slips on public roads. Just never one of those things that I was ever fond of wanting to do or ever even thought of doing. So, having said that, I wanted to also mention a couple things. Racing is a fun way, and I'm talking about track racing. It's a fun way of being able to, let's just say, get your frustrations out. Say, you have a job, 9 to 5, whatever the case may be. You've got a tough boss. You've got, workers who are not all that great, and you want an out. A lot of people love to go work out. A lot of people love to, just take a long walk or spend time with their families, whatever the case may be. And some of us happen to want to race. It's like the best way to get an adrenaline rush, but at the same time also get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. So that's what this particular world of sports, and I mean go karting to automotive racing, means to a person like me. Like, it gives me this high. Like, I'm in a safe environment where if something happens, there's medical or safety staff or whatever to take care of me should God forbid something happen. But at the same time, I get to have a lot of fun. So that's all there is to it. So, having said that, I'll mention this. So, as you know, that I am, from Pakistan, but not from Pakistan. Um, and every time I would come to Lahore, it would be a different experience. And this time around, it hasn't been any different in that way. That I'm always doing something different every time I show up here. And this time around, it just so happens that I came in March of 2021. And as of the time you were watching this video, it's been 3 months since I've been here. And the day I landed, I was tired out of my mind, jet lagged, all that stuff. And it just so happens that, Google's pretty good at telling you things, right? And it suggests places for me to go. And it mentions 2F2F Go Karting Club. At first, I was like, a go karting club? But come to find out, yeah, there is one, and it just happens to be literally outside of the society that I am currently staying at. So, first of all, it's literally a minute worth drive away from the place that I'm staying at, and then at the same time, it's probably one of the best tracks that I've ever been on in this part of the world. 2F2F Karting Club has been around since 2013, I believe. Maybe it's older than that. But they have a track in Islamabad that's been around much longer than the track in Lahore. The one in Lahore opened up literally in February of 2021. So it's pretty darn new. This track is the same layout as the one in Islamabad. The only difference, according to the people that run this track here, is that it's 300 meters longer than the one in Islamabad. So this particular track is, I believe, 1,500 meters, which comes out to almost a mile long track. It's got some real good technical turns, real nice straightaway, and overall, it's a pretty nice track. I The first day I got here at this track, I remember my fastest time that I could pull out at the time was a minute 21. Uh, but that's not what was important. What was important is what I felt like after I did that session. I was hooked. I mean, in a way that I never thought I would be hooked to something coming to a place like Pakistan, where, it's not a developed country. There are things that, let's just say the country needs to improve on, but this just blew my mind. So from that day to today, I've been racing quite a bit. I won't say how much, but definitely quite a bit. And I've gotten to the point where, as I told you, I was at the minute 20 mark when I first did my session, to now where I'm at a minute 10, which puts me in the top 20. For somebody like me to be able to do that, I feel, a great sense of accomplishment. And why I say that is because I'm not as good as I once was. I'm an older guy now. There's a bunch of younger folks who are, way, should I say, daring, also way lighter than me, and they've been able to pull pull lap times that are way faster than mine. Like the fastest lap here is a minute and 8 seconds. I think it's 108.625. And I'm at 1 minute 10 seconds 0.6. So obviously, still, if you have been in the world of racing, that's still a whole world of difference between the fastest guy and me. But slowly but surely, I'm going to be working on it, and I'll try to get as close as possible given the situation. The thing that I'm running into are twofold. I'm dealing with trying to get the right racing line, so attacking the hairpins in a way where my entry and exit speeds and the angle at which I come through the apex of, for example, the hairpins, is at optimal levels, and then in the back half of the track, the double left as they call it, that leads into the long sweeping right before the chicane, I'm finding myself going slower. So as you look at that speedometer deal on the left side of every of the videos that I've posted, you'll see that at certain times my speeds will slow down to as much as 25 to 24 miles an hour over that double left, and sometimes I'll stay in the 27, 28. So there's definitely speed management that's an issue, but it's also about how I'm attacking that angle that I want to work on. And the second thing that I know is a challenge for me is weight. Now, the thing with weight within the go-karting world, I at least feel, is that it makes a profound effect on lap times, how the kart feels, and what you can actually pull off with the kart compared to somebody who's a lighter weight person. So right now, as of this video, I'm at 185 pounds, and most all of the guys who are way faster than me weigh less than me. I'm talking, yeah, one guy is 66 pounds lighter than me. So, that's what, 120 pounds wet? So, obviously, there's some room for me to improve to be able to catch up to them in terms of weight, but also about skill set. And you know what? Most likely I'll get there. I'm pretty dedicated to the race, and I enjoy it a lot. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the track itself in terms of not just the layout, but what it's like, and what kind of experiences you get. I think it's one of the best places to be in Lahore, outside of going to restaurants or historical sites to see and all that stuff. If you want some real good fun and you're really into racing and you want to get better at something, and if you're a resident of Lahore, this is an easily accessible place for you. What I would say is that, as you do with anything in life, it's always good to try to link up with people who are faster than you or equal than you, and brainstorming with them. So what I've liked about the track is that I got here and started to look at who is the faster person than me, and started to strike up conversations with them, ask them what they're doing differently than what I'm doing, and it turns out that I actually made some real good friends. As a matter of fact, there's two videos on this channel so far. One of a friend of mine who goes by the name of Lord Mir, and another person by the name of Saad, who are one of the faster drivers at this track. And I happen to befriend them. Not only are they good racers, they're really good human beings. On top of that, there's some other people too. Shahir, Hamdan, GT, as his name goes, Rafiel from Canada, awesome dude, by the way. All these folks, the greatest thing about them is that not only are they fast, but they want you to be just as fast as them. And that is the kind of thing that you rarely see in very many places outside of the racing world. And the thought process that they have is that, well, if I want to get better as a fastest driver, I need to have somebody who's got a competitive edge to get me to push myself further. So that's why they're doing it. And not to mention, it's a sense of camaraderie. It's a great way to make friends. It's a great way to have some good fun after, every session. Like, say, I buy in 3 sessions every time. Each session is about 15 minutes, and you can probably do 11 to 12 laps if you're really good. And if you're struggling, 8 or 9 laps is the most you can do. But then in between those sessions, we get to talk about, hey, you know what, this is what I think I should do at the hairpin, or this is what I should do at turn 2. What do you think? And you get to hear from them, and they give you active feedback. But also at the same time, we also have, just the BS kind of conversation. So we enjoy it a lot. It's pretty good group of people that show up there. So the one thing I also want to get into is what I think about what I guess what my expectations are versus what reality is. So one thing I noticed is that every time a brand new person shows up at the track, what this particular facility does is that they make you go through basically a TV recording of a safety brief. It's the one and only time that you'll go through it, and in that safety brief, they go over what you're supposed to or not supposed to wear, what you're supposed to do on the track. You're supposed to follow the instructions of the safety marshals at all times. What the flag colors mean, and all that good stuff that you're supposed to know. But what happens in reality is totally different. Expectation is that people abide by the rules, but every time you get on the track with new people, you realize that there are people who may have gone through the class itself, but they paid zero attention to it whatsoever. So what happens with that is that there's a lot of incidents where people hit each other. They think this is some kind of bumper car, fun ride kind of place, but that's not what this is. This is true racing. I mean, you have to take this seriously. These carts, while they don't go faster than 41, 42 miles an hour, that's still pretty damn fast in a vehicle that has no airbags. It has no protection around you. It's an open cart. So if you end up hitting something or someone, not only will you hurt yourself, but you can potentially hurt others to the point of serious injury. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of people show up there with no regard for personal safety, no less that of others. And that devolves into a problem later on after the session. It's happened in some of the videos that I've uploaded, and I want to actually start putting in short clips of what not to be like, where people do not pay attention to what's going on around them. I mean, the safety videos tell you what you should do, but people disregard it completely, and it ends up either injuring people, or after a session, people end up having fights. This is the kind of thing that, to me, is a serious concern. Like, if you're a civilized human being and you want to come and have fun, do it in a way that you're not impeding the fun that somebody else is having. There are always going to be groups of people with different skill sets who are trying to race on the track at the same time. And having said that, that's why the new people are told that, listen, you're going to be in a race with people who are going to be faster than you. Give way. But some way, somehow, it's maybe the culture of this city that some people kind of consider it a challenge and on purpose will block folks or hit them as they're passing them, that's just childish. You need to grow up. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. Because if you continue to act like an a-hole, guess what the facility's going to do? They're going to ban you outright. So I think it's really uncool that I'm seeing a lot of it happen, and it's mostly people in their early mid 20s and sometimes older people who act like that. But guys, just grow up. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, right? It's a fun place. You want to keep it to a point where it continues to attract people. But when you start to act like the way some of you do, and I'm not talking about hopefully anybody who's watching this, but when people act a certain way, there are repercussions that then spoils the fun for everybody. I personally am pushing the management to start at some point, since they're new, but at some point start to hold sessions during certain times of the week where it's literally skill based sessions. Meaning, so if you're in the 110 and faster bracket, you get to have sessions with only those folks, dedicated times for them versus literally everybody else. This way, there's a little bit of a, let's just say, uh, uh, I want to call it segregation, but with separation, I think would be a better word. To make sure that two things happen: the fastest guys on the track get to continue to, improve their racing lines without having to worry about slow drivers showing up out of nowhere or not moving. To the slow drivers then getting to take their time to have fun. If that's all they're there for, then they deserve to have just as much fun as some of us guys who actually take the track seriously. But in the end, the point is, regardless of whatever skill set you are, be careful, be safe, have some regard for your safety, and then think of others as well. Not everybody's going to be at the same level as you. Then the other thing I want to talk about is really class. I mean, some people literally lack class, the types of folks that show up here. Even though the sessions here are relatively expensive in comparison to potential earnings of folks, the kinds of people that show up here are literally people who are self-entitled, think that they own the place. I'm sorry, man. Maybe that works outside of in the general city. The culture here, I understand how it works. Where if you're connected to some higher ranking person, you can pretty much get away with murder. But on a track like this, where people are trying to do something right, provide an activity beyond restaurants and site visits to different monuments, don't spoil the fun for the rest of them. I wish there would be a way to police that up, but it's continuing to be an issue, and I hope some way somehow it gets resolved. Then the other thing really that I want to talk about is the whole the thing about this egoistic tendencies with certain folks. If you're slower than somebody, just take it in the chin. You come up to me and ask me how to get faster, I'd be more than happy to help you. Like, I do not have that sense that, what, I'm not gonna tell you what that racing line is just because I feel like I want to be faster than somebody and I want to stay on top. And that's one of the other things that kills me about fellow racers who are fast. They don't want to share what gives them the edge over other folks. Like, the people I mentioned, the ones that help, are rare. They don't want to. The ones that don't want to help are the fastest guys out there. For some reason, they think that the only way that they can keep their edge is not share anything with anybody. I mean, it's their wish. That's what they want to do. But what it tends to do is it starts to create unnecessary toxic rivalries. I've seen fastest drivers have fights over BS stuff, and it's because they're trying to. Well, some are trying to actually start their own side business of their own, where they'll say, "Okay, well, if you want to learn my lines, you're going to have to pay for my sessions," which I think is total BS. I mean, the whole point of this should not be a profiteering endeavor. If you want to do that, I mean, do it somewhere else. Honestly, I mean, this is, the management tries to fight it as much as they can to try to curb it, but don't fall for anybody who says that. Yeah, if you want to learn how to get faster on this particular track, pay me for a couple sessions and you'll be good to go. Don't do that. I'll give you that free advice. Mir will give you that free advice. don't rely on folks who are, in my opinion, sheep in wolfskin. It just won't work at all. But anyway, yeah, that's the gist of what I wanted to really talk to you guys about. Hopefully, you continue to enjoy the videos that I have. I really want you to subscribe, like the videos, and comment and tell me what I can do differently. I am a small channel really compared to most everybody else out there. But what I really want to walk away from this particular video is that want to let you know that look, I'm here for you guys. I'm gonna be in Pakistan till the July month of July this year. So if you want to learn, I'd be more than happy to help link up with you. To the folks who are out there who are nervous about racing and whatnot, hey, you know what? I'll be there to even help you go through that fear as well. Whatever it takes for you to want to, get the love for this race that you may not even know that you'd enjoy. So hit me up, and I continue to upload videos that'll be fun and exciting for you all to see. And talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.